Hello. Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video. So I'm Gabe, and yeah, so today I'm going to be talking about my very first devlog for my dream game. Now, as you guys can see, my very first video, I had the Escape the Temple game. That is not this game. This game is a multiplayer 3D first-person shooter. So yeah, let's hop into it. So to start off the epic quest to make an epic game in Unity, I did the first thing that any brilliant intellectual game dev would do. I googled a tutorial on how to make a multiplayer game inside of Unity. So I couldn't find any good tutorials, so I went to a friend of mine and I said, "Hey, do you know a good tutorial series to make a multiplayer game with Photon?" And then he replied, "Yeah, Rugs." And I said, "This one?" And he said, "Yup." And I said, "Okay." And yeah, shout out to him, link in the description. He has like what, 10 million subscribers? Okay, 10,000, but that's pretty close to 10 million if you know what I mean. So after that, I did an obvious thing. I went into the Unity Hub and created a brand new blank 3D game. Alright, cool. So I followed the tutorial. Everything's going pretty smooth. There's been a few bumps, and we'll talk about that. When I talk about all the progress I made, which will be just up here in right a second. So yeah, let's just all start talking about all the progress that I made and all the bumps that I've had in this road. Okay, so the very first thing that I did here was I just made a really simple menu, and I mean, there's nothing really that interesting here. But as you guys can see, I added some scripts and stuff on the side here, and all these scripts, I'll get to these maybe a little bit later. But you can just find these in the tutorial I'll leave below from Rug. Yeah, but I mean pretty much so all these menus they load to each other and stuff. But anyway, we just play it so you guys can see the loading menu goes between each thing. Like whenever it's not like playing, so it loads. And then yeah, you can find rooms, create rooms. The quick game button doesn't actually do anything yet. But yeah, but like the create room button, you can actually create a room, and I think this is actually pretty cool. So once you create the room, you can go back. You're gonna start the game or leave the room, and then you can find rooms. But as you guys can see, there's no actual rooms to be found right now. So yeah, you have to build a separate thing, which I'll show you in a couple minutes after I get through the whole idea of the player movement. You can just make the most epic game ever, most epic room name ever. Gabe is best. Okay, create this room. And yeah, let's hop hippity hoppity into this room. As you guys can see, um, dang it. Okay, so I spent like the next like 30 minutes trying to figure out this error. And after 30 minutes, I found a very simple mistake, so I fixed that mistake, as you guys can see right here. Okay, epic. Now we can actually walk around the game and move around. And yeah, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is actually like multiplayer and being able to walk around and see other people from the other screen. Alright guys, so I was gonna go over like the room real quick. So first of all, you guys can create the room as you guys can see. Obviously, we'll just call this what the room is supposed to be called. Wait. Yep, alright, here we go. Perfect. Alright, create the room. And we'll find a room and join this room. So as you guys can see, join the room. But here's the cool thing is only the host can actually start the game. So let's just say the host would actually leave the game and then boom, the next person becomes the host. All right, let's just hop into the find room again. And hippity hoppity, Gabe is the best. Okay, and now we're gonna start this game. As you guys can see, that person's over there. All right, kind of cool, right? I know the guns are bugged. But if I just pull this screen up, as you guys can see, you can also walk around this screen and I know it looks a little bit laggy right now. That's just because there's a couple bugs I need to work out for my screen recorder and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool, you know. Um, I've been having a lot of fun and stuff with this, but as you guys can see, the guns actually aren't synced up yet. So I still have to do that, and I'll probably do that in this devlog right in a minute here. So yeah, that's a multiplayer so far. Of course, as I said, it's laggy just because not because of actual lag or anything, just because of my screen recorder is really causing some lag. I'm super duper sorry about that. I'll really try to get that fixed for the next video. Okay, so I spent like 30 minutes I spent like a little while trying to figure this out. And the whole problem with this was that in my gun items, whenever I played the game, like the scrolling wheel wasn't working. I was like, wait, why? Then I was in player control. I'm like, oh, it's because the items aren't here, right? So I tried dragging these on, but they wouldn't go on, and I was confused. I tried dragging these on, they wouldn't go on. But then I realized, I sent him. I got a little bit of help from play, and finally it worked. So what I forgot to do was what he told me is I never added item to the script. So I spent like a while trying to figure this out. I never added the actual item to the script. But yeah, now if I go back into player controller, I can now finally add it. So yes, thank you. Shout out to him. Link in description to his channel. And yeah, thank you. Okay, so now we can go quickly through like each of these things, like all of the scripts. So we're just gonna start at items. So all that this does is just make sure that the items actually have like item info and they have a game object on them. That way, like this way I can add the item infos and game objects. That way they're actually useful in the game. Gun info, this is really just creates a new asset menu. That way I can make FPS new gun, which is an item info. The item info script just makes a new public string, which is item info. And the player ground checks. What this does is it checks if the ground is there. And then if it is, it allows the player to jump. That way the players can't just jump infinitely and jump to infinity and beyond, because otherwise that would be really buggy and it'd just be really weird. And player control, this is pretty simple. We pretty much instantiate the player and whatnot. Actually, not here. This just allows you to walk around and stuff. So like up here, as you can see, it lets you to move your mouse up and down, but it locks out at the 90s. That way you can't go all the way around your head and move your head like anywhere you want. It locks out eventually. But yeah, and then this is an error I had, and I'll talk about that later. But it's pretty funny, the little story behind that. And then yeah, I mean, there's nothing really that too um con like too hard in here. Pretty simple stuff. Player manager, pretty much all this does is just says that whenever the game starts, we're going to instantiate and pretty much like create a new character. The Photon prefabs player controllers, so that's where the folders are, where my player controller is stored. So that whenever you start, you'll get the player controller that has a player controller script on it, and then that way you can actually walk around the game. The room manager, obviously, all this does just loads the scenes, and that way you can like switch between stuff. The player list item, all that this does is make the player list of people in the lobby. So like, there's no actual nicknames yet. The player's nickname is just like a random name. So that's nothing special really in here yet. Room list item. All this does is just shows the actual list with where the rooms are. So that way when there's two people have rooms, you'll have room one is like room one, room two is room two. That way you can have the two rooms on top of each other. The menu, public class menu, model behavior, public string menu name, public bool open, public void open, open equals true. So all this does really is just set the actives to the menu whenever you go in and out of it. And the menu manager, this whole entire thing just all of the menus. So that way the menus will open and close, and I have a bunch of buttons assigning like each menu and whatnot. So yeah, that's all the scripts in kind of like in a nutshell. Okay, heyo heyo. So this is like the final part of this devlog. So you can see you can create the room and stuff. I don't know, Gabe's room, we'll call that. And yeah, now I finally got it so you can move around. You can switch between two guns, which using the scroll wheel and your the 1 and 2 keys. But yeah, it's pretty cool so far. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this devlog. In the next devlog I'll probably end up covering like shooting and all that kind of stuff. And then I'll also probably end up making some models and actually making the game look more polished. But anyway, I hope that you guys did enjoy this devlog so far. So yeah, please subscribe and like and see you next video.